watching SNN, the Suncoast News Network, your local news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, and thank you for joining us here on the Headline Edition. I'm Eric Wilson, filling in for Don Brennan. We get right to your top stories. 4 million people remain under flood alerts tonight in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, where they're measuring historic rainfalls, not in inches, but in feet. Streets and an airport underwater. Guad Venegas is there.
Airplanes cutting through water on a Fort Lauderdale runway that looked more like a lake than a landing zone.
What the hell?
Historic rainfall causing a shutdown in and around the airport, with drivers and passengers stranded in vehicles.
Reference to a vehicle stuck in the floodwater. Caller advised she does not know how to swim.
Daniel Scarfone spent 15 hours stuck in his vehicle, unable to get help to move.
My big truck could do it, but it couldn't handle it.
Rescue teams saving this elderly woman from her home as first responders at Broward General use a boat outside the front entrance.
Can't get there by car, get there by boat.
The flash floods are a result of torrential rain hammering Fort Lauderdale and its surrounding areas, with 7 months worth of rain in just 7 hours.
This is just one of the flooded neighborhoods here in Fort Lauderdale. The street looks more like a river, and we still have cars that are stuck, with residents pretty much stranded here until this water recedes.
Jessica Falls stuck overnight inside a crowded terminal with her family.
It rose up to right at the door.
Tonight, Fort Lauderdale declaring a state of emergency.
All right, I'm gonna go back and get your mommy and daddy, all right, bud?
After a once-in-a-thousand-year rain event, as officials warn of more rain on the way. Guad Venegas, NBC News, Fort Lauderdale.
In response to significant flooding in Southeast Florida, as you heard, Governor Ron DeSantis has issued Executive Order 23-65, declaring a state of emergency in Broward County. While Broward County has not requested assistance from the state, the Florida Division of Emergency Management has deployed staff to support local efforts, including collecting damage assessment data in Broward County. Tonight, the Florida House approved a bill that would ban most abortions after 6 weeks. Legislation Governor Ron DeSantis has indicated that he will support. This video is of protesters at the Capitol earlier today. The bill would make Florida one of the most restrictive states in the country to obtain an abortion. The measures, which passed the state Senate on April 3rd, now head to DeSantis' desk for his signature. Victims of rape, incest, and human trafficking could obtain an abortion up to 15 weeks in a pregnancy under this legislation. Staying with abortions, a commonly used drug remains on the market today after a federal appeals court refused to suspend the medication's FDA approval, and the future of the drug will likely be decided by the Supreme Court. NBC's Dan Sheneman has this story.
Overnight, a federal appeals court declined to suspend FDA approval for the abortion medication, mifepristone. But while the drug will stay on the market, the appeals court left restrictions in place that prevent patients from receiving it by mail.
While mifepristone's approval remains intact, this ruling, as you said, really limits the way it can be administered. It puts in peril the FDA approval of the generic form of the drug, and it also could limit the amount of time that women can have access to it, up to 7 weeks of pregnancy instead of 10.
This latest decision blocks a ruling by a district judge in Texas that suspended FDA approval for the drug, which dates back to 2000. Critics of the medication call it dangerous, and in approving the drug, the FDA failed to protect women's health.
This is a significant victory for the doctors and medical associations we represent, and more importantly, the health and safety of women and girls.
The White House insists the issue is far from over.
We are going to continue to fight in the courts. We believe that the law is on our side, and we will prevail.
Attorney General Merrick Garland vows the Justice Department will appeal to the Supreme Court, seeking action before the ruling takes effect on Saturday. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
The Department of Justice is weighing its options following the latest ruling from a federal court on the abortion pill, mifepristone. Members of the group Occupy Tally protested the proposed 6-week abortion ban in Florida. A week ago, Tallahassee police arrested 11 Occupy members and their supporters for trespassing on city property when they violated a sunset curfew to vacate the plaza in front of City Hall, which resulted in the arrest of Florida Democratic Party Chair Nikki Frye and Senate Democratic leader Lauren Book with 9 Occupy members.
House is going to be passing a 6-week abortion ban because of the ambitions of one man. Right. The ambitions of one man to become president of the United States. And he will run on the backs of the people of our state. People who will die because this measure that he will sign next week.
Occupy Tally sent out invitations on a variety of social media platforms to come to Tallahassee and protest what sees as Florida's descent into tyranny by a legislature that does not represent the majority of Floridians. Continuing with our Parkinson's series, one Suncoast organization is helping those who are dealing with the disease. The NeuroChallenge Foundation offers free resources for people with Parkinson's as well as their caregivers. Earlier today, they had their weekly Building Balance class.
We're able to give the Parkinson's community free programming like the one today called Building Balance, which is an exercise program. And it's so super beneficial because it's going to improve the quality of their life.
Of the class is to improve balance and prevent falls. Manatee County Animal Welfare is taking dogs in faster than they can find them homes. They currently have 98 adoptable dogs at their Palmetto Adoption Center. Now, because of this major influx, they are waiving adoption fees through the end of the month. If you are not ready to adopt, they are desperately seeking foster homes.
Foster is a great chance for dogs to get in a home for a temporary period, and it helps us sort of lower our numbers here and continue to be able to provide for all the incoming stray pets.
If you choose to foster, the shelter provides all the food and supplies you need. For more information on how to foster, adopt, or even volunteer, go to our website, snntv.com. The Venice Shark Tooth Festival is going on April 22nd and 23rd. A lot of great local musicians are performing. The lively lineup of bands has the potential to satisfy your music taste. While you are there, you can enjoy the festival's delicious food while rocking out with your air guitar.
A little bit of everything. So from arena rock with Maiden Kane to Funky Monkey Band, that's some classic rock and some beach music.
The Venice Shark Tooth Festival is open to the public and is free. The location of the event is Centennial Park, 200 West Venice Avenue. Gulf Coast Community Foundation announces their new president and CEO, Philip P. Lanham. Lanham joins a significant point in Gulf Coast history, with the foundation recently announcing $500 million in community impact. His business and philanthropy background is a perfect fit for this region and organization. His passion for community is reflective in his board service with the Advancement Network for Community Foundations, where he is the immediate past chair as well as serving as the vice chair of the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center Board. Dr. Mark S. Pritchett, the current president, will be retiring at the end of May. Still ahead on the SNN Headline Edition, we talked the Pentagon. We're learning more details about the Pentagon and the leak that happened. Stay tuned.